Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Evan and Evergreen Minimalism. My name is Evan and I make videos about minimalism, decluttering, and motherhood. In today's video, I have two items to declutter and they go together, so it's kind of more like one item. Have them outside for someone from the Buy Nothing group to pick up, and she's supposed to be on her way. The reason I wanted to make a decluttering video and I'm only letting go of 2 possessions is because this item in particular illustrates how a physical possession can kind of get in the way of you moving forward with some positive changes that you want to make, or some alterations that you want to make to your lifestyle for the better. So I kind of wish I had it here to show you. Maybe I'll go grab it real quick and be right back. This is what I am decluttering today. It is a very heavy stone ball. It has a little sticker on it somewhere that says made in Pakistan, and these were really popular, I don't know, maybe like 8 years ago or so, just as decor. It's basically just like a polished sphere of maybe granite. I'm not really sure what kind of stone it is. So that's what it is, and that's what I'm letting go of. And then I have this little soapstone dish. It was part of an oil burner that I had. I already decluttered the oil burner, but I was keeping this because I was using it as a stand for this, and it's sat on my dresser for a long time. I wasn't using it, so I ended up putting it into the drawers of the dresser instead of on top, and today is the day that I'm going to let it go. The reason I had this to begin with, it wasn't just for decor, it was kind of for meditation, and then also just for using it with movement, like stretching and light exercise to kind of encourage movement. And that is actually the reason that I am getting rid of it, because I felt like it was hanging me up. The idea here is that having this will be, you know, inspiring or motivating towards using it and getting movement and stretching and exercise into your daily life and daily routine and practice. But what was actually ending up happening was that I would see it and I would think, oh, I should use that, I should incorporate it some kind of way into my routine, and it would lead me to overthink it and instead of doing any kind of movement at all, I was just tripping over my thoughts of how to kind of get myself to use this on a regular basis. So my hope is that by actually letting this go, it will be one less barrier to working in some stretching and movement and exercise into my life and into my routine. That's really something I struggle with, is not exercising on a regular basis. And a lot of the reason I feel like is because for me, I need to have the right environment to feel like I want to stretch or move or do yoga. And if the energy or the vibes are off, I just don't want to do it. I think some people might feel that way with doing art or painting or writing. You kind of have to be not only in the right headspace, but also in the right physical environment. And for me, that extends to movement and stretching and exercise. And these are things that I do want to do. So letting go of anything that might be causing like the slightest little trip up or hesitation or hiccup in the process is, I think it can only be beneficial. Also, I am decluttering and minimizing further than I have, and I am working on consolidating the majority of my everyday type of items into this dresser that I have here next to me and into my desk. I've just slowly been consolidating everything into there. Of course, in order to do that, I need to declutter. So I need to declutter things that are in here that are taking up space that I'm not using, or I need to declutter things that I'm trying to put into here from other areas. And this really takes up a lot of space. It's quite large. One of these drawers in particular is very, very weighed down and very heavy. I was working on it today, rearranging it, reorganizing it, and seeing if there's anything that I could let go of. As I was doing that, I just noticed how heavy it really is. So that one that's heavy, I need to take some stuff out of there and move it into a different one, because I really like this dresser and I don't want any of the drawers to break or get damaged. I just want to let things go. I really, really do. I really want to minimize and downsize and scale back on my physical possessions. And today I was thinking about letting this go, and I took it out of the dresser and I started using it actually, and then I was like, oh well, maybe I will just leave it out on the dresser or the desk for a week and see if I use it every day on a consistent basis. And for a few minutes I thought that is what I was actually gonna do, but also I am really, really impatient, so I don't want to wait that week and see what happens. And ultimately, like on an energetic level, you know, something is telling me to let this go. And I've had it for quite a while. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but I've definitely had it since before my daughter was born, so at least 6 years or so. And I feel like maybe it's just absorbed some of the negative energy from the environment that it's been in. And if for no other reason than that, that is a good reason to let it go. And you know, the decluttering process and the minimizing process and the downsizing process, it isn't always easy because a lot of things that we have, we really feel very tied to. And I know I can definitely say that for myself. And like, breaking those bonds is not the easiest thing in the world, depending on what the object is and why it's meaningful to you. I do feel like it's a necessary and valuable process to go through because ultimately I have a lot of things that I like and I enjoy, but at the same time, I feel like they are weighing me down, and ultimately, I do want to let them go, but I feel tied to them and connected to them, and that is what is kind of keeping them around. So I end up feeling kind of tethered by this physical possession, and for some things that I have, as much as I might like it and enjoy it, I feel like it would give me more satisfaction and more fulfillment for it not to be there. And it's just, you know, the ties keeping me to it that keep me from letting it go. And I end up kind of feeling frustrated with myself and frustrated with the item as well. So it feels kind of like you have this thing that you really like, but you're frustrated just by the fact that it's in your environment. It's kind of tricky. So it's kind of hard to put into words. And I think that unless you have felt that way, you wouldn't really understand it by somebody just trying to describe it to you. But I think that if you have felt that way before, then you probably understand and know what I mean. So one of my friends in the Buy Nothing group is coming to get this, and she has given me some beautiful items before, so you know, I'm definitely happy to be able to return the favor, and hopefully it will serve her. I don't know if maybe she wants to use it for exercise or whatever it may be. And in the meantime, I mean, this thing probably weighs like at least 3 pounds. I am happy to have that 3 pounds freed up from my life. I'm happy to have that weight taken off of the dresser, which is already under a bit of a strain. I'm happy to have the space opened up, and then also any energy that this thing has absorbed from the environment in the past 6 or 7 years, or however long I've had it. I'm happy to let that go as well. I'm gonna go put this back outside so that she can grab it if she pulls up, and then I'll come back and we can chat a little bit more. I just want to chat with you guys a little bit about what I'm thinking and feeling right now, and my relationship to physical items, possessions, and my relationship to minimalism and decluttering as well. So over the past few months, today is March 2nd, since around Christmas time, or the time that I would have been looking for gifts and making purchases for presents, I have brought in a few pieces of decor. I've bought a few things. I have accepted a couple of things that my mom has let go of and given to me, and I've gotten a couple of things from the Buy Nothing group as well. Honestly, I I feel kind of frustrated with myself that I have brought these things in, because as much as I like them and enjoy them, and as much as like actually getting them felt good in the moment, for me, once I have something, especially if it is something that I really, really like, then I feel tied to it, and there's this whole untethering process that I have to go through in order to let it go. So it's almost easier to not get it in the first place. And I think probably since sometime in December, when I was shopping and looking for Christmas gifts, I got a little bit of the thrifting bug, and I have been feeling myself like wanting to go to the thrift store, almost as like a stress relief, you know, just as like a feel-good thing, and kind of the thrill of the hunt. And you never know what you're gonna walk away with, and it's really fun, and it can be really exciting and rewarding because you don't know what you will get, and you don't know how good of a deal that you might get on it. In March, I'm going to try really hard to not go to the thrift store at all unless there is a very specific thing that I need or want. And even then, there isn't anything that I can think of right now that I absolutely need. So even if something were to come up, I don't see why I couldn't just wait until April to be able to go and look for whatever I might need, because I can't think of anything that I need in the moment. And I can't imagine that if I needed something that I would need it like right then and there and not be able to wait. I'm kind of going through this untethering process and this process of letting go. And another thing about me is, even though I'm a minimalist, I really like stuff. I love beautiful things. I love vintage things, and I love finding things that might have otherwise been forgotten, or, you know, finding old things that you can't just walk into a store and pick up off of the shelf. Going into a thrift store or a buy nothing group and being able to find something that is 20 or 30 years old that you can't just go out and purchase somewhere, and, you know, being able to have that and use it and have the beauty of it enhance your environment. I love all of that stuff, and I think that maybe that's part of the reason that I do love minimalism so much, is because if I wasn't practicing minimalism, I would probably have way too much stuff, because I like stuff, but I don't like what comes along with the stuff. I don't like dust. I don't like not being able to find things when I need them. I get really frustrated and irritated and kind of lose my patience if I can't like immediately put my hands on something that I need in that moment. And I don't like to have to move stuff out of the way to be able to get to what I need. And I'm the type of person, kind of like the opposite of what Dana K. White talks about. She always talks about how, you know, if it was her, like, she would go into a cabinet and go rummaging for what she needs and kind of pull everything out to get to the item that she needed, but she would never see the mess and put all of the stuff back. But for me, I would take the time to put all of the stuff back, but I would be really frustrated and aggravated in the moment that I was having to spend the time to do that, and that it was keeping me from being able to move on to the thing that I really wanted to do. So it's for a lot of these types of reasons that I do practice minimalism, because I want my life to be as stress-free and fluid and easy as possible. And it's like one little thing getting in my way can kind of derail whatever I was setting out to do. And I don't think that's necessarily like a good or healthy way to be, but I know myself and that's what happens. So, you know, I could be like, oh, well, don't be like that, you know, be better and have a more positive outlook and stuff like that. But sure, you can work on that, but I think the self-awareness aspect is important, just to kind of know what your baseline is so that you're not constantly coming up against hurdles and trying to tackle things like every single day, all day long in your life, because life has enough of that without us getting in our own way and working against ourselves and our natural tendencies. The reason that I had put the stone sphere into the dresser was because it was sitting on top, I wasn't using it, and I put it in there because of dust, because dust was settling on it and it was settling on the dresser around it, and in order to clean the dresser, I'd have to move it out of the way. It's kind of hard because it could be such a useful item, but it hasn't been. We've lived in this house for a year and I've never done like a stretching session with it or anything like that. And my hope in letting go of it is that it will be one less barrier in the way of me incorporating some kind of movement into my life. I know that if you have not experienced these things for yourself, you will probably think that I sound absolutely crazy. And this is just the way my brain works and the way my nervous system works. And of course, I'm always trying to improve myself and do better. I don't feel bad about the way that I am, and everyone is different. If someone were to ask me, do I think everyone should practice minimalism? I would absolutely say yes to that question. But at the same time, if someone wasn't asking, I wouldn't tell someone, oh, you should be a minimalist and da 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 da, because I think that everyone needs to figure out what is right for them. Do I think everyone can benefit from it? Absolutely. Just like everyone can benefit from deep breathing and meditation and drinking water and staying hydrated and having a healthy diet and exercising and moving your body and avoiding toxins and all of these universal things. Anyone and everyone can benefit from them, and should we be doing it? Yes, but I'm in no position to ultimately tell anyone what they should be doing with their life, and I try to focus on myself. And but I just want to say that if you haven't experienced this yourself, I can understand why you would think it sounds pretty batshit crazy. I'm kind of okay with that because it's the reality for some of us, and just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean it isn't valid and it's not something that is prevalent out in the world. So if you have experienced these types of thoughts or feelings or situations, please let me know. down in the comments. I think today I would like to keep this video a little bit shorter, and I'll try to get it edited and put out pretty soon. So if you have any questions or comments, or there are any particular types of videos that you would like to see me make, any topics that you would like to see me cover in a video, please leave that down in the comments section below, and I will see if I can make a video about it. And also, if you have watched to this point in the video, please go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I am aiming to reach 50 subscribers on my channel so that I can do live decluttering videos. And I've been working on this channel for over a year at this point. It has not been very consistent, but I really want to make it consistent and put in the effort to at least have one video every week, because I do want to grow the channel and I do want to share my views and my experience with minimalism and decluttering with a wider audience. So please subscribe to the video out in front of more people on YouTube so that they can decide whether or not they want to watch it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for being here with me. Peace out.